Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day, and I had this message come to me this morning by way of a good friend of mine, and I wanted to share it with you and talk on what I thought about it. Because, first of all, get you a network of people that challenges you to be a better version of yourself, and don't hate them for it. You know, a lot of times people either they avoid people that are going harder than them or doing better than them, or challenge, that challenge the way you look at yourself. They either hate on them or they don't want them around. I want to encourage you to look in your life and say, who around you can challenge you to be a better version of yourself in certain areas of your life, and try to keep those people around you. I have a network of people that in the mornings we share with each other motivation. Not every day, not even every week, but good messages get shared within each other, within the network. Over time, we end up just sharing, whatever's on our mind at that moment. All people progressing in life, all people doing well in life, and all people that come from the struggle that weren't handed anything and made it happen. And so this one came early this morning and said, what kills people on their spirit in sales, entrepreneurship, or anything that depends on themselves for their income is this one fact. The mindset of I've given it all and I have only moved inches. I've given all that I have and I've only moved inches. Most can't endure that. Most need a prize, or a prize proportionate to what they feel their work deserves immediately, right now. Just in the process of things this morning, this is where the competition falls off, is they can't repeat that cycle over and over, and the cycle doesn't stop. That's why you hear people saying that the rent is due, and the rent is due every day, because the cycle doesn't stop. It's the same at all levels of maturity and growth. And so let's spend some time here on that topic for a minute. Is that, we were talking specifically about people that work for themselves, or people that are in a, sales position, where your income is derived a lot from your output, your activity. And what he was saying is people can't handle sticking with it long enough without getting an immediate return. So what I was hearing in the message is people want immediate gratification versus delayed gratification. And so what things in your life right now are you getting frustrated in that you're putting in a lot of work, but you're only getting an inch or two ahead, inches at a time ahead, and then back to the explanation of compounding interest, reminds me of the book, The Compound Effect, where they said in the book, if I give you the opportunity to have a penny, 1 cent that doubles every day, or $1 million, which one would you take? $1 million right now, or a penny that doubles every day over the course of a month? And, by asking a dumb question, most people would understand you probably go opposite, right? Pick the penny, because it don't make sense. And when you play it all the way out and you do the math on it, it's millions of dollars. But the millions of dollars doesn't happen until you're beyond, 20 some days. And so the majority of that month, you would be working your butt off and be thinking, man, I should have just took the easy road. It doesn't make sense for me right now. I passed up on this job opportunity. I passed up on this thing over here, and I've only gotten half of what I could have had over here. And I've worked my ass off for, in this example, 14 straight days. But in life, it's 14 straight months or it's 14 straight years. It's a process that you got to understand. You move ahead inches at a time, and it takes a lot of work. This reminds me of jiu-jitsu. A lot of you know that I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I've dedicated a large part of my life to jiu-jitsu. I've been doing this for 12 years. And, I can honestly say, I'm not the greatest in the world, but I can honestly say I feel comfortable wearing and carrying a brown belt and knowing that I deserve that and I can represent that. My skill set is of at least that level. And what I can tell you is there's so many times where I have to drive an hour away to practice because these are to me, the best in the area and the best competitors in the area that I could find to learn from. And I'll drive an hour away and I'll put in an hour and a half of work and then a half hour to get myself cleaned up. There's 2 hours and then an hour back home. It's a 4-hour process. And really, I didn't get that much better. Inches. And sometimes during that process, I get injured. So I'm doing all the work and then I tear something or I sprain something and then I'm out for a couple weeks or I'm out for a couple months. And so it may seem like you're going backwards in life when you can tear something in life. Something happens to you and your business gets injured and it takes you 6 months to come back from that injury. Somebody backstabs you in your business or you had to change something or you made a bad decision or something out of your control or somebody quit. It may take you 6 months to recover. That's like an injury. You sprained your ankle, you tore your bicep, you broke something, whatever. People can understand that, but that's where people stop. That's where people quit. I told a friend of mine the last time I got injured in jiu-jitsu, I tore my bicep, and the first thing through my brain was, what does this make possible? So what things can I focus on now, on and off the mats, that I didn't have time to focus on before? Now that I'm forced to, something else is going to get better. So what does this make possible? And then how fast can I come back? How long is this going to take to come back? No part of me was like, yep, this is it. Quit, hang them up. We don't want to go through this anymore. It's my understanding is that's part of the process. That's where everybody starts to quit. And it makes complete sense. I mean, logical as hell as to why you would quit at that point, but you just don't. And then you got to constantly repeat that cycle. And so that's what life is like, is there's times I've driven an hour there for that whole same 4-hour process, and I've got my ass kicked and I feel like I got worse. But in the process of feeling like you got worse, you got better because you learned how to get out of a compromised situation that you weren't used to being put in that position, or you got exposed in an area that now you know that you need to work on that otherwise you wouldn't have had exposed. Didn't you go there that day, which then leads to growth. And so that's all about your mindset and your attitude in the way that you think, in the way that you look at things. You can't have a positive life come from a negative mindset. And so your mindset of how are you looking at things? What is your perspective on things? How can you encourage yourself that I'm putting in all this work, but I've only got inches better? Like if you were to look at that penny at the end of a week, all that work that penny had to do, doubling all these times to not be worth nowhere near $1 million. But if that million don't grow, that penny catches up. And so many people I remember a man telling me one time, that was my coach in jiu-jitsu, and he said, man, all a black belt is a white belt that didn't quit. Think about it. People think, oh, these people, what do you think? It just popped out the womb and they say, here's a black belt for you, sir. Ma'am, here you go. Thanks for showing up today. It's your lucky day. Here's your belt. It's black. No, they had to go through every levels. The ass, getting your ass kicked level, I don't understand what the hell you're talking about level. I don't know this move. I don't understand. I'm a nail to, well, I kind of got it. Nope, I don't got it. That whole process of years and years and years is what it requires in order to be successful. But I think because people need an immediate gratification, this is why so many good martial arts have gotten watered down, because they're handing belts out to people now, which is why what I've loved the most about the art that I don't know how, but the jiu-jitsu, the culture of jiu-jitsu has been able to keep it decently pure, that people are earning their belts in a lot of cases. Like, it's not this watered down, they're giving out black belts in 2 years or a year or 3 years or to a 10-year-old or, whatever it is. Because people need this immediate gratification to keep being a paying member of the business. I'm going to give you a belt to make you feel encouraged to keep showing back up for the business so you could pay the business, but you really don't deserve that belt because this is what the society has been birthed on. But here's the good news for you guys, is that the majority of people need this immediate gratification, and they're discouraged by gaining inches every week or inches every month or inches at a time. That 95% of people, you will pass them up in your job if you just continue to show up day by day, grow with those inches, have a positive attitude with consistency, and don't expect an immediate gratification, immediate return every time that you do something, needing a medal or needing a reward. You're going to blow by 95% of people because people aren't game for the process. The process sucks because you got to do all this work, all this effort, all this time to get just a little bit better. Think about that. That's exhausting. Driving all over the place, sweating all over the place, grinding all over the place, sore all over the place, and you only got a couple inches better. And it's going to take consistency in that process over and over and over and over and over and over again to ever get to where you want to be. And that's why people quit. And that's the good news for you grinders out there, is this is why you're headed in the right direction to get what you want done, because 95% of people are going to give it to you. Things are going to get hard. They're going to quit. They're not going to get it fast enough. They're going to quit. It's not going to come easy enough. They're going to give up. And so 95% of people, that's why when you look at the majority of people, it's usually things that are worth value. 5% of or less of people obtain it. How many people get a black belt? How many people reach a certain level of financial stability? How many people end up in the highest levels of the Marines or Navy SEALs or whatever? Show me something worth having, and I'll show you something that few people do and get, not because of a lack of God's given gift, not because of a lack of ability, but a lack of patience in the process, that you're not down to get your ass kicked and grind it out to only get a couple inches better. So you tap out, want immediate gratification and say, I'll just take what they're willing to give me right now. I'm not down for the long-term process. And so you guys out there, just because you're listening, you're probably on your way to kicking the shit out of the other 95% of people. You're already willing to put in time like this. I know you like being with us at the GRINDcast studios. We appreciate it. Me, Alyssa, and Josh were over here. We're ready. We appreciate you deeply. But I know you probably could find something more fun that you would like to do, something that you could be doing with your time, but you're choosing to invest it into us, invest it into yourself, and invest it into growing yourself, which means you're doing things that 95% of people probably are not willing to do. Now the question is this: can you do it consistently? What I was talking about, what that text was about, was consistency, because that cycle don't stop. You got to build it into your nature of who you are. That's why you got to love the process. You got to learn to love the process, because it don't stop. That cycle don't stop. But it ends gloriously for you And it's almost a guarantee. That's why it's no certain amount of education that you need to get to where you want to go. It's a certain amount of passion and discipline that you need. And while I'm on the subject of inches at a time, just, man, loyalty is rare. Be loyal. Be a loyal person to people that are loyal to you. So it's, loyalty is tested when we disagree, right? That's when your real loyalty is tested. Or where you have an opportunity to do something disloyal and it would benefit you some temporarily. That's where you really see where your loyalty is at. If we agree all the time, we don't really know who's loyal. If every decision that we make together benefits you perfectly, so of course you want to be around. We don't know if you're loyal, or we don't know. But when the benefit could be for you to be disloyal, that's when loyalty really starts to come out. And I think because loyalty is so rare, loyalty to the right people on earth will be so deeply rewarded out there in America, that if you want to be different and you want to deal with some real people for the long term, see how you can show true loyalty. Now, the people that aren't loyal, you have to be so loyal, because you're gonna hear people that aren't loyal hate on you for being loyal and say, "Oh, you're drinking the Kool-Aid," or "You're dumb," or "You're this," or "You're that." Now you can't go too far and lean on loyalty, and you're getting abused at home, and you're saying, "Well, I'm loyal, but my spouse is knocking my teeth down my throat." That's not being loyal. That's being stupid. You got to get out of that relationship. I'm talking about somebody that treats you well, that has treated you well, that has done something for you in your life. Have you forgotten about the people that have helped you get to where you currently are right now? Don't be that type of person. People talk about, man, what would you want people to say about you on your deathbed? What do you want to feel on your deathbed? I think that's one of those things, on somebody's deathbed, man. Like, have I been loyal to people that helped me? Have I been loyal to people that were loyal to me? Or did I take this Machiavellian approach to everything and just once I've gotten what I need out of you, I'm done with you, and you're out of there? Because loyalty is rare. Look for ways to show true loyalty to people that have been loyal to you, and I think you'll be on your way to living a really good, loving, prosperous life, as long as you're willing to pair that with the cycle of don't be discouraged today. If you're out there on the grind, if you're out there on a mission, and you're in the process right now, and you're putting in a bunch of work, and you've made progress, but when you look behind you, it hasn't been as much progress as you want. Understand, in football, if you only gain 3 yards at a time and you went for it every time on fourth down, you would get a first down. You would score a touchdown every single time you touch the ball. Every single time you touch the ball, if you just move 3 yards at a time. It's not even, I don't even think that's the average of a play. I don't know. But I know it's not far. I know nobody wants to do the process of 3 yards at a time, and it's not always possible. But if you can move just 3 yards at a time, if you could just gain 10%, on the money that I'm talking about, like $100,000 getting 10%, that's only 10,000 for the whole year. It doesn't seem like a lot. But when it turns into 10 million and you get 10%, it's $1 million every year. All of a sudden it seems like a lot. But the million was born, the 100,000 was born in the struggle, was born in the grind, was born in the process, was born over monotonous doing things over and over and over again, moving inches at a time, trying not to be discouraged. And I just want to salute you guys out there on the grind and on the hustle. It ain't easy. It's so much easier to settle. It's so much more attractive to just settle and be average. It's so much more comfortable and relaxing to give up on your dreams and do what everybody else, the other 95% of the world, will accept you for being. Understand, if you're in the 5% that's trying to be different and do something special, people are going to tell you that you're weird. You're not going to fit in all the time with people, because if you did, you would be a part of the 95%. You got to do things, think things, speak things different if you want to be amongst the top 5%. And I know if you're listening to this, you're on your way there. So I just want to encourage you, keep taking one step at a time. I mean, we'll take a first down, we'll take 10 steps, of course, and they'll come. But I think the first downs, the touchdowns, the home runs, the breakaways happen when you're just committed to the process, saying, if this day gives me an inch and I had to work hard for an inch, I'll take it. If this day gives me a yard and I had to work hard for a yard, I'll take it. If this day gives me a touchdown and I had to work hard for that, I'll take it. Just stay patient in your grind, patient in the process, stay committed to the cycle, and not need immediate gratification, because your gratification is coming and it's going to be built on a house of bricks, not a house of cards, because you built it from the ground up, not skipping steps in the process, seeking immediate gratification. If this helps anybody, please do me a favor and share it with people so we can get the message of the GRINDcast out there. Otherwise, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day.